Good evening, good morning, good afternoon.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It's the Bold Take. We are able to breathe in and breathe out and not smell the stank booty hole air of Houston, Texas. Smells great here in Jacksonville. It's the
Might be
Bold Take.
winlets on the record, but we're definitely not we're not losing with the air quality.
I feel kind of bad like shitting on a city. Like,
Ironic.
obviously Jacksonville is like the butt of the joke for everybody in the NFL, but man, was I happy to be home. What about you guys?
Yeah. Overall, I think people have been asking for 10 years. We've been doing the trips for about 10 years, 11 years, and people have been asking to go to Houston. Or I think some of it too is people who live in Texas, which I get. Like, hey, that's the easy trip for folks who live in Austin or anywhere else in Texas. It's a little closer to go there, obviously, than it is to come to Jacksonville for a game or most other places. So it's been a spot that folks have wanted us to go to for a while. I, having been to Houston a few times in the past, was never really in that much of a hurry to go back to Houston.
I feel that.
Two, I also was of the school of thought that, like, even when that team has been putrid, they usually beat us. And even when we've been pretty good and they've been bad, they usually beat us. So setting myself up for all of that, plus some of the logistics that come with planning stuff for a noon kickoff, which is just weird, bunch of weirdos. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of and that is sort of how Houston went.
That's exactly how the trip went.
yeah, pretty much. So call me Capstradamus or whatever you want to call me. But
I will say I was one of those people that was like, yo, Cap, why don't we ever just go to Houston, man? And I totally get it now, man. You were right.
The difficult thing about Houston is there are pockets of cool stuff for sure, because it's a big city and just by default you're going to get that, but everything is so spread out, including the easiest day logistically that I had was game day, because we all just got on the metro and cruised up. Everything else that I did required at least 2 or 3 Ubers. I mean, I probably spent like $74,000 on Ubers. I'm just an estimate.
Lyft is fucking banking off of me, dude.
It's a rough estimate, but it was probably pretty close to that amount just because everywhere we were going. So yeah, anyway, I don't know if we were going to get into the trip, but you kind of segued us into it. So there you go.
I'm still recovering, so it's on my mind. My head still kind of hurts a little bit. Like, right.
Oh man, I'm
4 shots in a row that we took or whatever.
I could, between that and Dilla's edibles. Shout out to the homie Javi. Brought the heavy doses. Yeah, no, I still am. Yesterday I was feeling it too. We got back Monday and I just slept like crap too, man. Christopher, my man at the Airbnb, if you're listening, I put this in my my review.
Ooh, Cap reviewed their asses.
I did. I said, look, everything was great. How do you have the bottom floor bedroom is the only one without a ceiling fan though? Like your boy,
Ooh.
like I was so hot the entire trip. So I barely slept. It's like, so 3 nights of barely sleeping.
I didn't really
a bunch
sleep
of
very well.
partying. Jaguars get their teeth kicked in. You do the math. I didn't feel too well when we got back.
Feel that. I was lucky enough to grace the pull-out couch, and when the couch was pulled out the first night, I was told straight away, yo, that is so uncomfortable, you're not going to want to sleep there. And I just want to just say that I slept like a baby all 3 nights.
He did.
It was probably nice and cool.
It was freezing cold in the living room, like 60
Beautiful
degrees, but they were like, this thing is not comfortable, you're not going to, like, there's a metal bar through the middle of the bed. I literally slept like a baby through it all.
Yeah.
It was elite. It was better than the Jaguars could ever be.
I literally don't know how he did it. I was the person that was telling him there's no fucking way you're gonna sleep on that. Well, I was like, just come sleep with me and Cass, bro. Come on, get on in.
I'm pretty sure I know how he did it, but it's called being so lifted that he didn't feel anything. But so I really think though, what this was, the trip to Houston was kind of a litmus test, right? For a theory that I've long had. Most of us have, have mentioned it before. Like, you legitimately could take us, like our core of pals and good friends, but then also the extended BCB family. Like, you could take us and put us anywhere. We're going to have a good time.
Even Houston, fucking Texas.
Even Houston, even when we lost to freaking Ty God Taylor and David Duchovny as their coach and whoever the hell else they have on their team. I don't even know. Like, we still had a good time. We still had fun. There were a lot of smiles. I keep saying this, man. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to sustain planning these trips every year long enough for us to experience this. But someday when we're like, when we legit have like a 50-50 shot, I'm not saying like a 70, 80, 90% shot at winning the game, but when we legit go to these games and we got a 50-50 shot of winning, I don't even know, like, what are we going to do with ourselves? Because I'm so used to now leaving at some point during the game, just pissed off and going and getting back in the bar scene. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to come first. Maybe that's a Twitter poll. I'm going to give up planning these trips, or we're going to eventually get to a point where the team is functional and competent enough to win some of these games that we go to.
We, along the same vein, we do have a few jag bags that are kind of like this, like, what's going to happen first? This, or this, that are pretty elite questions. So
okay,
stay tuned to the jag bag. And also, we've got to give away. We got our 500 YouTube subscribers. So we've definitely got a $50 gift card from Perfect Rack that they're going to give away. And then what we're going to give them, like a t-shirt or something else too. Give them some Bold Take swag or some PCB swag.
We can arrange that. We can arrange that.
But we're gonna have to pick somebody out probably at the end of this episode somehow, right?
Yeah, this is really good radio right here. This is very good. We definitely, believe it or not, folks at home, when you're listening to this, we actually did talk about this before.
This was the one thing we talked about. The only thing we talked about.
I will have to say too, there's some more good radio on the way. The highlight of the trip for me was right. Oh, is it gonna show? Right here.
Nope, definitely not showing.
Not gonna show.
Definitely not showing.
Damn it! Fucking
for those of you though
screens.
For those of you though that are watching this on the YouTube, you'll notice the our new background for the pod on YouTube. We're growing up. We're kind of official.
I'm getting rid of the background since I can't flash my phone at the camera.
No, stop it right now. You stop it right now. That who was the gentleman who did this for us? It was very nice of him.
That would be made by Tim.
No, Tim didn't do it.
Yeah, he did.
Did he? I thought you said somebody else did this one.
No, the background for YouTube. The other person did the one with the white squares in it, which we'll get there eventually when we can.
Oh, okay.
We're too dumb to figure that one out.
10-4. This is fantastic podcasting right now. Fantastic.
Let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We are the week 1 Jacksonville Jaguars of podcasts right now.
Kind of funny to bust the team's balls for not being able to line up, and here we are, like fumbling over the background screen. But anyway, we're just the Prez, and we're glad you're here for us.
So this is how you guys know that Urban Meyer is coaching our podcast.
So, oh shit.
I hate that.
Before we get into talking about Dilla's favorite head coach, just putting a bow on the trip stuff. Favorite memory overall of the trip. What was it?
What I was trying to show you the picture of was the highlight of my trip was that barbecue place. What was it called? The Pit Room. Dude, that place was
10 out of 10. No flex.
Yeah.
So far. We ate good the whole time. That was probably, for as like lame as it was that it took forever to get everywhere, the food that I went to was 10 out of 10. I hit that breakfast club spot for breakfast. We hit some taco spot that was fire as hell. When the first night we were there with you, or the first day, we hit that random taco spot and it had that chicken and waffle taco with like the waffle tortilla thing.
Yeah, it looked like you guys got like authentic tacos, and then you also got fire. The creative tacos, which is that velvet taco place that you guys met us at. Yeah, that place was good too.
It was cool, and I think everywhere we went to, like venue wise, was fun. So like I think like the food atmosphere, hang out with the boys, the smaller group. That's always my favorite part of these trips. Like, why do you want to go watch the Jaguars lose again? Well, I just actually
sucks,
want to
bro.
go hang out with my friends.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I was, I tried to. It's funny because I missed. I'm like Downer Jag fan when he missed the Fred Taylor run in the playoff game against the
Yes,
Dolphins.
dude.
Like that's his claim to fame. I was at Trevor's first game and I missed the first touchdown because I was up in the beer line. And so I literally came down to my seat and I think they came down and got like a field goal or they scored, they being the Texans. And then I'm sitting there and I think I tweeted out like, wow, I can't believe I missed Trevor's first. I was in the beer line. And so people started tweeting me like, you need to go back. You need to go back. And so I'm like, LOL. Yeah. Maybe I should. And then we come down and we go like 3 and out. And I'm like, fuck. All right. I'm going back to the beer line. Like it's worth a shot. And so I was in the beer line. We get the ball back and Trevor throws like the first or second pick. And then I was just like, that's it. That's it. There is nothing that I can do. There's nothing anyone can do. Like the Lord Jesus Christ cannot help us at this moment. And that's it. From that point on, I never went back to my seat. I don't know. What was that? Like the end of the middle of the second quarter?
Yeah.
You were done.
All I know is I was sitting next to like Solly's boys. And when he threw that first pick, as soon as he put the ball back, I said, pick.
That's
and
a pick.
Sure enough, as soon as it was, that was the like first moment, even though I think the score was like 17-7. I was like, well, this one ain't happening.
He was coming left and he cranked it like this. I was like,
Yeah.
that don't look good, buddy.
Not happening.
But yeah, it was man, it sucks so bad knowing that feeling though. And so this is what ends up happening to me, right? Like in moments like that where it's 20 something to 7 or whatever the hell it was in that moment. And it's still the first half. I'm just conditioned to believe that it's not going to get better. And in fact, it's going to get worse, especially when I'm on these road trips, because it's happened to me so many times. And I hate that feeling. Like I hate the fact that that's it immediately where I go to. It's like a resoluteness, but in anger. And it sucks. And I think that's why I'm so quick now. I think I left like 5-6 minutes into the third quarter because I was just like, I can't do it. Like I just, so much goes into these damn trips. And I don't, and then I inevitably always get somebody who comments back like, well, then why do you do it? Why do you go? And it's like, okay, first of all, go fuck yourself. Second, like I'm just
because I have psychological problems.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm here to vent, right? I'm here to vent. Like, and I think we're all on record saying that the trips are worth it within themselves just because we get to go hang out with our pals. And yes, sometimes I think about, right? Sometimes I think about, could I just get Dilla and Solly and Tim and Pat and, just insert all of our pals. And then maybe even an even larger group and all of us just go take a trip and party and have fun somewhere cool. Absolutely. But there's an element to following your team, the team that you love, that's from your city, the city you live in, the city you call home, whatever it is. There's that element that goes along with it. And that element is freaking awesome up until like the game starts for us, unfortunately, you know what I mean? And so it's not just about, yes, we can laugh and we can say, wow, it's, yeah, the game sucks. And so whatever, at the end of the day, we're there to make memories with our friends. But there is that kind of other little element of like when you're in the bar Saturday night and it's, it's 250, 300 Jaguar fans and you've invaded another city, you're all there for a common goal and a common interest and to support something that you all care deeply about. That is what you can't replicate and duplicate. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
To spin off on that, just like keep going a tad. When we do like break off into our smaller groups and do our own thing, before the big night of party and night before party, when you're around town and you see a Jaguar fan that you've never like met before, never seen before, and you just see that logo, you're like, hey, like that's my guy right there. That's my girl. Like that's family. You know what I mean? And it's super tight to see that anywhere. And when you're out of town and you see it, it's that much cooler.
Well, and it's that much cooler when you're out of town and when you're there like for the weekend or the week of a game too, right? Like it's one thing if you're just visiting some family up in Minneapolis and you run into somebody, wearing a Jaguar hat, that's always cool. But like when you know that person is there for the same reason as you, and that's to watch your garbage ass franchise.
That's why they're like family. They're down for it.
Yeah, they're down for it.
Kind of people right there. So
it is, and that's a special kind of bond, man. It's and I don't know if that's some of like the soccer culture coming out of me or whatever, but it's just always something that just away days, going out and traveling and following the team is in a lot of ways in the last decade, it's been more fun for me than even home games, which is crazy. I never thought I'd say something like that. But last thing I'll say was it was really cool. For those of you that are listening to this, I know we've got a bunch of you that, maybe aren't hardcore BCB members, but, you've stumbled upon us or you follow the Dillical because he's got the goods on the interwebs, whatever it is. I just want to encourage you, join us on one of these while I'm still doing them. Join us on them because it is really awesome to be at the bar gate on Sunday like we were. And usually when we do these things, I can probably recognize 75 to 85% of the people that are there because it's core people, it's whatever. But this time, I'm serious. Like for me, you guys probably even less. For me, I probably only knew 50, 60% of the people there by name, like from the jump. Now I got to know a lot more people. And if I see all around town or at the games or at the tailgates or whatever, then obviously, yeah, I've made some new friends, but that was really, really awesome. And then it was cool to get a younger generation too.
Yeah.
Cool. It was really cool.
I'm not the kid anymore. It's wild. Like that. There's like,
you're not the kid anymore. I mean, you're telling me, bro, like, and that's something that's always kind of been on my mind with BCB is like, when we started this shit, like, Dilla, you were 20, and Andy Willis was like 14 and, Solly was like 23 and we were the young fans. We were the young fans traveling and now there's other ones. So, I know maybe now we're kind of a separate generation from those young ones, but I think every one of the young ones that came on the trip with us had fun too, which is cool. Means that we're not completely old and washed and we still know how to have a good time.
And a message for all them too, especially people who came on this trip for their first time. Like this trip was not as fun as a lot of the other trips we've had. And I think it's all because of the city, mostly like the logistics that Cap was talking about, the fact that everything was so spread out. Most cities we go to are much easier to traverse around and we all can meet up in the same places. There's much cooler spots in most of the cities. Games are not at noon, so we have a longer tailgate time or bar gate time, whatever the case may be. This one, I mean, there's a reason that, like Cap said, it took forever for him to commit to a Houston trip, and there are, it's not without its cool parts, but this one didn't have the same elements as some of the other cities in the
same
NFL.
vibes. Yeah, and that's why it's important too. Like when we pick the venues or the cities for the trips, like a lot of that goes into it. But yeah, I encourage anybody to come out, man. So the packages are still available for Cincinnati. We're still doing it. I had a few people like, hey, Cap, you're still doing Cincinnati? And I'm like, yeah, I already paid for all the game tickets out of my pocket. Like, believe me, I maybe thought about not doing it, but no, I'm fired up. Cincinnati's a new city. It's a new place for me. Cincinnati's like a new stadium to check off the list. It's a new city that I actually am really, really looking forward to. I don't know why. It's in fucking Ohio. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I checked. It's in Ohio, and I'm really excited to go to Ohio. Something I never thought I'd say, but I'm pumped to go to Cincy. We don't have a huge group going right now, so I encourage everybody. But it's going to be a tight group of pretty much everyone sitting together, like together. For this game was a little different than the Texans game. I was able to get mass tickets together. So we'll have like 50 sitting together and hopefully bar gate of 100 plus people is what we're hoping for. So if you're on the fence, hop off the fence and let's go to Cincinnati. It's the rumble in the jungle.
Yeah, and
1.0.
if you're new around here, new listener, new follower on the internets, all of us kind of got really cool on these away trips together. Like I met both of these guys in New York City for the first time in my life. And then 2 months later, I was like spending the night in Orlando with Solly, going to like Magic games and getting drunk in downtown Orlando. Like, just go. I promise you're gonna like make friends with people. You're gonna have like crazy bonds that you like would have never thought you would have had before, and like who the hell knows what comes after that. But you should definitely go because it's dope. That's like remove the football game. You're gonna have so much fun without the football game that like even if they show up and play half decent, it's just gonna push it over the moon. So something to think about. It's fun as hell. You should check it out.
Yeah. If not Cincy, there's always next year, hopefully.
And speaking of transportation, we got to do our first ever live ad read.
Ooh,
for our guy Boz.
That's exciting.
Executive transportation. So Boz is like traveling around with AEW now, but he is still available for rides if you give him a call. And give him, you may need to give him a little more advance notice, not like, hey, Boz, I need you to come pick me up in like 20 minutes. But give him a call, 904-887-0763. Hop in his DMs if you follow him on the Twitter machine. We'll be retweeting him from the account all the time. But Boz Executive Transportation, the OG sponsor.
Yeah, for sure.
Boz blew into Houston. He came and I think he went in the breakfast taco line and then bounced. He had to go to another city or something like that.
He was gone. He was gone.
I saw him in the line. I was like, oh, Boz is here tight. And it was like too tight for me to get over to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll catch up with him at some point. The motherfucker was gone.
He's gone.
That
is a man of mystery. No, but you can still utilize him, y'all, because he's a one-stop shop for transportation. So if you got a wedding coming up, hit him up. He's got the hookup on limos, party buses, stuff like that. Hit him up. He will point you in the right direction. Even if he's not the one who's driving you, he will point you in the right direction. I got to tell you right now, if you're making an airport trip and you're going to be gone for a while, it may make more sense to have Boz take you and pick you up when you come back than sit there and pay for parking. So stuff like that, like Solly said, he's not Uber. And especially right now, like you can't hit him up on Friday and be like, hey, pick us up from the Ritz. But if you're planning some sort of travel where you need car service or bus service or limo service, definitely hit up our boy, man. He is the best of the best.
And he has like first class service. Like if you tell him like, hey, I'm taking my girl out for anniversary or something like that, he's going to have fucking rose petals in the seats for you, fucking champagne on ice. Like he's not messing around with that type of shit.
For sure. The Boz.
So hit up Boz. It's 904-887-0763. The OG.
Money. Wait, shout out to the sponsors, bro. Tony was out there. It was like a sponsor trip. Tony was out there. Boz was out there.
Yeah. I didn't get to fucking even talk to Boz. He was in the line and I was like, oh, Boz. And then he was fucking gone. I don't know. He went to some city. He's traveling all around
New Jersey,
taking wrestlers everywhere and shit.
Living his dream. You gotta
his
love it.
Life on a magic.
That's what happens when you link up with the Bold Take, man.
Yeah.
Your dreams come true. Ladies, hop in Dilla's DMs. Your dreams will come true.
So we want to talk a little bit about how unprepared our football team looks all the time.
All the time.
I mean, it happened all preseason, all 4 games, right?
Not Dallas, but really, yeah. Dallas, they look pretty good, man. They were prepared. That we took it to their third stringers.
Yeah, we killed their plumbers and car salesmen in real estate.
Well, let's. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what more to say there is than they just came out and that was, for me, that was the most disappointing part of all of it, was that, I think all of us have convinced ourselves that Urban Meyer, like his role. Okay. So Urban Meyer is not hiring Urban Meyer is not hiring Sean Payton. It is not hiring Bill Belichick on the defensive side, right? You are not hiring a guru on one side of the ball. I guess you could say special teams is his bread and butter over the years. But when it comes to the two core sides of football, you're not hiring somebody who is like, and I always like to say it this way. Am I hiring a coach that the moment that he is hired, one side of the ball is fixed. And you can't say that with Urban, right? So what he has to then be is either in a situation, right? Because I don't think anybody said, oh, Mike Tomlin was hired by Pittsburgh. The defense is fixed because Tomlin is coming. No. Instead, Tomlin, more of a CEO type, a relationship manager.
Mm-hmm.
He came into a situation where one side of the ball already had an identity.
Dick LeBeau.
Same thing with Baltimore, right? John Harbaugh, not known for, he's a special teams coach, right? So not known as a guru on either side of the ball. Came into a situation where the defensive side of the ball, this is how we play. This is our institutional way that we play. Hard-nosed defense, this type of scheme, right? More or less, it's changed and morphed a little bit over the years, but more or less, we're a defensive football team that wants to run the football. So he came in, there was an identity. Urban came here, and there was no identity on either side of the ball, other than that, like, clown circus theme music that goes on. That was our identity, right? That was our identity. So the hope was that just him being so on top of things and a taskmaster that he would at least tighten up both sides of the ball. Maybe we wouldn't end up becoming a juggernaut on either side anytime soon, but he would tighten things up. All the shit that, you know, the poor play, not poor play, but poor execution, right? Or lack of execution, the stupid penalties, lack of concentration. Those types of things are what you would expect him to tighten up. Now, yes, it's only been one game, but I said this to somebody else the other day, and I promise I'm going to let Solly and Dilla talk, but I'm just getting this shit off my chest. I said this to somebody else the other day. I said, look, the issue isn't, I have not given up fully on Urban Meyer on this whole project, any of that shit. The issue, though, there's some people out there that want to say, look at all of you that are getting bent out of shape over one game. Well, that was quite literally the one game this season against the one opponent that you couldn't lose like that and still keep the fan base and potentially some of your players. I don't know that for sure, but like, that's one hell of a game to pick to have the type of showing that they had. Now, does that mean that the entirety of the rest of the season is done and they won't win a freaking game the rest of the season? No, but it also means that people are justified in saying, whoa. What the hell, bro?
Yeah. And the other side of that is obviously you pretty much changed the entire defense, right? You have new people all over the defense, new scheme, new coach, everything, obviously.
Yep.
You have a new offensive coordinator, so you're changing the offense completely, and you have a rookie quarterback, and it's the first game.
Guess who else had all that other than the rookie quarterback?
Well, the rookie quarterback makes a difference.
I guess. I mean,
But they were much more prepared. Absolutely. I'm not going to argue that.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. But
and
Tyrod
there aren't many places on their roster that if you looked at it roster to roster that you'd say I'd take that position group over the Jaguars.
When they introduced the defense, I knew like two people.
Bro, we were laughing at them when they were coming out.
Yeah, I was like, who are
we're fucking idiots.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's kind of it. Like Tyrod threw 3 deep balls and he hit 3 deep balls.
And none of them were, or 2 of them were not like great throws. The
first one
were YOLO
away or picked off, and the one that the receiver came from the right side of the field to the left side of the field, and Dewey should have been getting back to help out, and he like refused to until the ball was in the air. Like that's just the kind of shit that like when you see people talking this week about it being a perfect storm of like everything going bad. I mean, that's it. When Tyrod throws 3 balls and like they equate for 180 yards and he throws for 290 the whole game, like you're not going to win that game, especially when you're lining up like fucking idiots and you can't even, your guards are so far off the line of scrimmage as your tackles are off the line of scrimmage. And we're not even playing defensive ends that are worth the shit. Like Merciless is a good player, but you know what I mean? Like he's injured coming off a hammy. Or this week we're going against 2 defensive ends who can ball. So what are they going to do? They're going to line up even further in the backfield? Like
They're gonna line up on the sideline.
yeah, I don't know like what to expect, but we'll get there. I'm kind of confident.
I will say, like the defense is like all new players, new coach, new scheme. Like you kind of expect some bumps there. Like and they didn't even really play that bad if they just make like 2 of those plays.
Yeah, that's
the quarterback up. My bad. And if Chase on wraps the quarterback up and Dewey doesn't play, it's a different game.
Yeah, and if I mean, frankly, you can point to 3 or 4 plays, and that's any game, right? I mean,
no, for sure.
But you can point to 3 or 4 plays there from the defensive perspective. If we just make the plays, then it's potentially a whole different ball game. Maybe James Robinson gets to touch the ball more than 5 times. Right. Maybe Trevor doesn't feel like he has to, be a hero halfway through the second quarter because of the way shit's going.
The offense is really just about we retained an entire offensive line that is not very strong, right?
Hey, but they graded out good against the rest of the league, top 10.
Overall, like with when you factor in the penalties and all that stuff, like they're not that great.
Here's my thing with
the coaching is a complete mess.
Yeah, it's not so much that I don't think that there's ability there, because I think the overall offensive line play around the league is kind of shit.
Right.
My issue is that we've got a bunch of young guys with time and money and draft capital invested in them. And I can't point to a single one of them that's gotten any better since they got here.
Yeah. So can we talk about the coaching for a second? At what point do we not just look at it for what it's worth? George Warhop isn't vaccinated. He doesn't get to spend the amount of time with the team that he's supposed to. If we go back and look at the vaccination rules and how much face-to-face he gets, he doesn't get any. That's fucking stupid. Whether you agree with vaccinations or not, here are the rules, and these are what they have to apply to. So us knowing that he's not vaccinated and the offensive line's not getting the coaching one-on-one or however they do it when they're, meetings, because that's where it's happening at inside, or where he's not at anyway, because it's inside. Like, at what point do we just tell that guy to fucking get on and we get a coach in here who can work with the players?
Yeah.
To me, the 2 most important for the next decade, the 2 most important things, I mean, you look at what made New England so good, other than Brady and Belichick, right? Dante Scarnecchia for like 12 years, right? Of Brady's 37 that he's been playing or whatever. I mean, they were taking no-name guys from mid and late rounds, free agents, and turning them into really great system-based, smart offensive linemen that were there to do exactly. And so I don't know how you invest so much in a guy like Trevor and then you bring back the dude.
Fucking George Warhop.
Yeah. It's that's the big head scratcher on that for me. And that's what I said too. I think I tweeted that out a couple of times. It's like, we can keep looking at these gifs of Juwan Taylor falling over or AJ Cann, which, I mean, that was such a bad game for him. I got to think COVID, man. I got to think COVID is affecting him. We don't know that for sure, but yeah, anyway, we can only bitch about some of these guys in the offensive line for so long when at the end of the day, it's like, okay, 1 or 2 things or both perhaps are fucked. And that's our talent evaluation at those positions or our ability to develop. And I think it's probably a little bit of a combination of both.
Yeah.
But the big test will be when a couple of these guys leave and they still have another contract or 2 left in them. Where do they go? Do they get any better? That'll be the big test, especially at left tackle.
Yeah. Which is obviously coming. The writing's on the wall, right?
Yeah. I mean, Cam's gone. So is where he ends up will be interesting to me. And does he ball out? Because I can totally see it. I mean,
he was good as shit before he got here.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know. It's but people, what I'll say about offensive line is people got to stop thinking that you're going to get 5 stud offensive linemen. It's not possible. I mean, I'm watching some of these teams. It's possible, but it's not likely in today's NFL. Like, you want to be able to find, if you got 3 to 4 really solid ones, most lines have at least one weak link. And then you can scheme around that, right? Like you can provide help, you can do shit. We got man hurts for goodness sakes. But I see some people like, well, so-and-so sucks. The rest of them are pretty good. It's like, well, hey, if the rest of them are okay, or if they're league average, then we're doing better than some other teams. I mean, I watched the Baltimore couldn't they couldn't block Solly Crosby and Jan the other night. They couldn't block them.
Yeah. And I mean, I think for as crazy and as bad as people and AJ Cam brought back a 9 out of 100 rating on PFF. So if he even gives us like a 20 out of 100, like, are they a top 4 team? You know what I mean? So like, Trevor only got sacked 0 times, right? 1 time, 0 times.
1 time, I think.
Must have been after we left. While we were there, he didn't get touched.
Yeah.
And like we said, I mean, I said it 20 minutes ago, their defensive line's like nothing to worry about. Like, you don't have like JJ Prime anymore or nothing. But I mean, how many times, if Gardner Minshew was still a quarterback, we would have been sacked 6 times, 7 times. So like, that alone right there shows you what elevated quarterback play does for an offensive line too. So for as much as everyone bitches about the offensive line moving forward, I don't think that's where we should be wasting our energy, because like you said, you're not going to have 5 studs. And if you have 3 guys who are capable and 2 guys who can get the job done on every other Sunday, you're in a good spot. And the Jaguars are in a good spot at the offensive line comparatively. No, none of them are good. So just be happy with what you got for now. If Trevor gets sacked and breaks his leg, then we can like walk them all out. But I mean, until then, I'm cool with it.
Cap's whole face was shaking.
Hey, every time we joke about, like, when we were talking about wasted versus ruined today, Solid.
Yeah.
My dude Cap never takes part in like Trevor's like no good conversation. He always leaves. The conference call always starts as soon as me and you start joking about that shit.
No, I don't. Listen, Trevor not being good is not an option for me. So
he will be broken.
Yeah, I will be extremely broken.
Cap will be like a roach on his back if Trevor is bad. He'll just be like,
I'll be like the guy.
For the listeners, and they can all reply in the YouTube comments. Not for you guys. Don't reply now. Is Trevor Lawrence going to be closer to Peyton Manning, Matthew Stafford, or David Carr? I'll take their answers off the air.
Cap looked like he saw a ghost when you said David Carr.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
So you touched on Trevor. So let's talk Trevor. What did you guys see out of Trevor on Sunday?
Man, that dude's arm flashes. He was making some throws that I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. The first throw that wowed me, he like kind of rolled to the right and hit Marvin Jones over the top. And when he threw it, it was like perfectly in line with where we were sitting. And I was like, oh, that's picked. Like, as soon as he threw it, I was like, the deep safety picks it off. And he threw that with so much zip that the safety
dog
turned his head weird.
I don't know if I've ever seen somebody throw a football like that live, dude.
For sure. And that at that moment, I was like, all right, like, he's tight. And then
shit.
like I said, I went and rewatched the first half of the game, and the interceptions were bad, but they're not like things where he can't get better from. It wasn't like anything that's like gonna last forever, I don't think. But the touchdown pass that he threw to Chark on the left side, that one right there is what really wowed me, because he was open for sure. Like, he was definitely an open receiver, but he put the ball in between 2 defenders, like forever yards down the left side of the field. And when he did that, I was like, all right, I've seen him throw like deep outside. He's been like chucking the ball like crazy across the middle. And now he just hit that ball that I've never seen a Jaguars quarterback throw over 25 yards. Like, this dude's the real deal.
That ball, like, it looks like it has a fucking motor in it, dude.
It zips.
So he read there, right? What was that? That was cover 2, right? And
that's all they play.
That was
right. That's pretty much all they played against him the whole time.
Yeah.
But he read, and he knew based off of basically that play that they ran is like a cover 2 beater, right? Yeah. Especially that's like that is the Mecca honey hole on a cover 2 right there is if you can
Get
get that
outside,
deep,
throw it over the corner, and with a
over the
50
corner and be able to hold that safety for long enough
Yep.
to where, and then here's the real kicker, because this is where people, some people can diagnose it. Then some people can even hold the safety. That's not that hard. But do you have the arm strength and accuracy
fucking rocket that
fire
shit
it 9,000 yards downfield in between those two people? So yeah, that was, like you said, I've never seen a Jaguars quarterback hit that so perfectly. So yeah, that was huge. I saw that on replay, so maybe it doesn't carry the same. I wasn't like there still live when that happened, so maybe it doesn't carry the same weight. That throw that you talked about to Marvin was, and maybe too, because it was like he was on the run and he was, he's on the move. That ball was every single time any other quarterback that's played for us other than him throws that ball, that's oh fuck.
Yeah, goddamn it.
I mean, that's and then he completed it. I think it was like Tim or Pat or somebody was next to me. I just grabbed their shirt and I was like,
I think I poked Dillard with my boner.
I know.
Hit us with your shirt.
That's what I was all day long. I was Jaguar cum face. And yeah, so that was huge for me overall for him. This was my take. I went back and watched it as well. There were moments, and when he dropped back 51 times to throw the freaking ball, of course, there's going to be moments. He didn't always look comfortable, which I think is to be expected. And there were times where I think if he were to allow himself, so sometimes he did allow his internal clock to slow down, and you could see him making the right read, him getting to the second or third progression, him controlling one of the safeties with his eyes. There were other times where he stared some shit down, and then like even his mechanics in those situations was like, I want to get rid of it, right? Like I don't want this ball. I want to get rid of it. Yeah. And so if he can continue to just get more comfortable, which I think is going to happen, because I don't think much phases this dude.
Right.
A. B, I think he's smart, especially football smart. Like the dude, like, I mean, he sees it. So if you can see it and you can make all the throws, and you're also displaying the ability to do kind of that next level stuff, it's just going to be a matter of time and practice and work and putting that work in and
just doing it, feeling comfortable in the game and knowing where things.
I think it's going to be a big part of it. I don't really worry too much about him. Now I worry about like where the Jaguars are we going to fuck him up? Like that's a whole different level and direction of worry. But I'm hoping to just be able to enjoy watching him grow and play this year. I think that's the big thing for me.
Yeah.
We can kind of segue into the coaching side of it. I know there was some obviously Urban, good old Herbs has dominated the timeline and the bylines of people from coast to coast. Oh, fight on. Shout out to my homie Jeff Kopp. Fight on. Go Trojans. No, he's obviously dominated the headlines, and I don't really care to comment too much on the USC shit, but I'll say this. This is my frustration right now with Urban, and then I'll let you guys talk about it. I know Dilly, you've got some kind of inside perspectives on sort of what's going on too, potentially, but the frustration for me with Urban is this. I want to believe he's this CEO guy, and I want to believe he's the guy to brick by brick build this shit like he came out and sold us on in the early days. Mm-hmm. Where you give me reason for great pause is when I'm looking at your body language constantly, and I'm paying attention to the way that you react to adversity and then the tough questions that follow. And all I have to go by is what he's putting out there in those moments. Do I know how he is behind the scenes with the team? I don't know that. I mean, I think we've heard some whispers here and there about stuff, but to me, this early on in the rebuild, in a build, fuck a rebuild, in a build, because that's what he's saying he's doing, right? Building something. This early on, what concerns me and bothers me is that it is so negative when you look at his body language and you listen to him and what he's putting into the universe. Because like it or not, his players may not be going out to jaguars.com and watching his press conference. Some of them might. I don't know. Some of them may see it tweeted out and click on it. But the universe is seeing how he's portraying it. And so it's very difficult to say, wow, really tough game against a team that most folks thought we had a good shot at beating. Not a lot of great things came out of that game. As a leader, bro, this is just me speaking here. As a leader, you got to come back and you got to hold you've got to hold the line. You've got to come back with a little bit of energy.
He's like,
and a little bit of passion for me about the build and about the process. And almost, he doesn't owe it to anyone to make them feel better. But to me, at a certain point, the way you react publicly matters to how you're trying to build something.
especially when your fucking slogan is "Own it, dude." Like,
Yeah,
act like you own it.
It was, man, I watched his, and we've talked about the body language before after, what was it, the Saints game or whatever in the preseason. And to see that is not like, you've got to come back and say, look, that was unacceptable. That's not up to the standards we're trying to put together here. And everybody knows it. It starts with me, right? And we're going to get better. Look into the damn TV screen, into the camera and say, we are going to get better. Yeah. And we want people here who buy in, who believe, and who are going to get better. And we're going to work to get better. And I believe we got a lot of people. I believe we're on the right track. Like, you got to come out and instill some of that, bro, after a fucking ass beating like that.
The whole tail between your legs after an L is
staring down at the ground. It's like, it makes me think, like, how has this dude ever been so successful?
Yeah. I mean, I figured out what the +2 mentality means. For every time you get an illegal formation penalty, you do it 2 more times. At least I'm feeling good about something today.
I thought it was for Dewey's missed tackles. Oh, he missed one, +2.
Someone was texting me about Dewey right now.
Oh boy, is that breaking news? Or
hopefully he's released.
Okay. Well, while you're looking at that, I'll just finish up the Urban thought. I mean, that's it for me. You come out and your team looks so unprepared. You're supposed to be the CEO, the master of preparation, this, that, the other. Fine. First game, I buy in, especially on the defensive side. It's not, it's a much more complex defense than what we've ran here ever, probably.
A whole lot of guys who haven't played together before.
Right. With a whole lot of guys who haven't played together. Fine. I'll buy all that. So come out and just set the tone, man. I mean, his press, if we go get blown out on Sunday again, this Sunday coming up, I won't be surprised. And it's not because I think we've got the worst team in the history of football. I won't be surprised because something's telling me in my gut that I need to question what kind of leadership they got down there right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's Urban, Amy Palchik, anybody in that organization can't get frustrated with the negativity that's coming Urban's way when he's not putting any positivity out into the universe, bro.
Sure. And I mean, I thought skipping the press conference, apparently did it last week too, but man, it's just such a bitch look. I'm afraid to talk about what happened and what's coming. I don't know. Like Amy Palchik said that it was her call to not allow it to happen, but I don't know.
It's her job to protect him. That's all she's doing. I mean, yeah. And to your point though, man, look, you're the fucking CEO, bro. You're the CEO. You are the public face. That is what you are. And you need to be, especially until Trevor is comfortable and ready. You've got to be that.
I'd rather Trevor be the fucking face right now.
Right. But so if you're the CEO, you need to take those calls with these other markets. Like you just need to do it, because you can't sit here and tell me you're over there Sean McVaying it up. I know you're not. I know you're not. Like, for real.
Yeah.
I know you're not in there with X's and O's scheming it up. What are we doing?
Yeah, you're relying on Daryl Bevell to come out with that shit.
Be the CEO. Be the leader. I have zero faith in what is going on right now, because you're not giving me that reason to on the field through the preseason and through the first game, and you're not giving it to me really off the field.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dilly, you want to comment at all about any of the shit that you've heard about kind of the potential turmoil going on inside? Or
Yeah, and I mean, it's just kind of like it's everything we've said before essentially on here. Like, it's more geared with the coaches. You're starting to see some people are saying it's coming from the players, and I've heard that some of the players aren't like fond of them, but like the good thing and the positive thing, like I've told you guys, it's not your core players, it's not your studs, it's not your better players, it's a lot of the fringe guys who
by fond of him, though, you mean by him, you mean Urban Meyer.
By Urban Meyer, yeah. Liking, not liking, pretty much what you're hearing in the media. The locker room isn't accepting of his like ways or whatever the fuck they're saying. That's not true. That's the stuff where I'm not like worried right now about any of that stuff. There is players who are maybe not happy or not as happy as they like to be, but what locker room isn't? You know what I mean? Like, at what locker room are you getting 53 guys who are happy to be there? That's not happening. But
Alabama.
What is concerning, no, we have like a 75 guys or something like that. Yeah. What is concerning, though, like I said, with it being the coaches, when it is the coaches who have the beef, when it is a specific coach who has the beef with Urban Meyer, and then you look at preparation, like we saw on Sunday, like that's what's like concerns me. My biggest concern moving forward is, are we going to be able to do the simple stuff? Because if they can't even have cordial conversation, how much better can we even get? Is the game planning that goes into it? And I think it's funny too. Remember a couple of weeks ago, after I think it was the Saints preseason game, I brought up the time that Urban Meyer spent talking to the offensive coaches versus the defensive coaches. And now, as you continue to hear more and people are talking more, it's that same group of coaches that are causing the issues. And it's just interesting. I mean, where did we see the stupidity? I guess we saw it more come from the offense, the simple stuff. The defense didn't play great because, like Sally said, new scheme. And their biggest issue on defense for me, they couldn't get subs on and off the right way. And apparently Cullen was getting calls in late, and it was like fucking shit up. So that was his first game as a defensive coordinator. If it continues to happen, then that's something I'm going to be worried about. But the offensive side of the ball, lining up, we burned 2 timeouts in the first quarter, like early on. Someone said, like, why didn't they challenge that the Tyrod the first deep pass that put him inside the 10? And I think he didn't have the luxury of being willy-nilly with timeouts. And how often does that call ever go to the,
that would have been an L. That challenge would have been an L anyway. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like, some people are like, oh, I don't think he threw the flag because they didn't show it on the big boards, which, by the way, every time we go to an away stadium, they always look out for their team. And every time in Jacksonville, they're like, oh, we got these big boards, we got to show it. And as soon as they fucking show it in Jacksonville, the away coach always throws that stupid fucking thing.
Bro, we got
the biggest video board ever just to narc on ourselves.
We've got the worst game day, like when it comes to the production stuff, whether it's the dude on the PA calling for stuff, whether they're, calling for the move those chains. Like that never happens on time. It's like once every, we don't get that many first downs, people. You think you'd be ready. But like once every fucking 30 first downs, they actually time it up and it's all good. That sucks. And then mainly, like you just hit the nail on the head. I was waiting for you to get done so I could say that. There were 2 or 3 questionable calls that went their way in their favor. And we still are waiting on replays on those fucking boards. They haven't shown those things, bro. But you bet your damn last dollar that come Sunday, if there's a questionable call that goes our way as the home team, that fucking replay will be the first one up there. They'll
180 million foot fucking video board in 4K, super slow-mo.
Yeah, but it's not just that. Yeah, it's not just that. It's when shit, like when we need the damn video, we don't get it.
Right.
When we don't want them to show it,
we get it.
they show it. Yeah.
I don't, just back to what we were talking about. My overall point on like all this media hype and like everyone being like, oh fuck, this blows. It's Urban Meyer, guys. Like, I know we're not used to being in the media. We're not used to being talked about every day. We're not used to be talked about, we're getting Colin Coward and the guys that just sit there and they spew like bullshit because they have to talk for 3 hours every day on radio. We're getting that attention now. We're going to hear some crazy stuff. You're going to hear guys from Ohio State say like, yeah, I'm not surprised that he's not getting along well based off what other reporters are hearing and then asking players who played. And I listened to an interview today. It was an old podcast of a guy from the Broncos. I think it was Shelly something. I don't know. Ironically, Urban Meyer's last name or wife's name. And he said something along the lines of, until you were a player, Urban Meyer didn't acknowledge you. Pretty much, he put all of his energy into you as a recruit. Once you showed up on campus, until you played, he didn't even acknowledge you. He would sit, talk to you in the hallway or whatever, but literally before you were done speaking, he would walk away, he said. But that's the difference in college and the NFL. You don't have a million guys running around. You don't have 50 guys who are walk-ons who don't even travel walking around. You only have 53 guys plus your practice squad. And the Jaguars have a million coaches, and that's just not how the NFL works anyway. So when I hear people talk about that, since that came out today and that podcast got like spit back out onto the internet, that's not stuff that, in my opinion, correlates to how Urban Meyer would be in the league anyway, just because from a pure number standpoint, there's just not that many guys to where you have to, take your 37 minutes a day and talk to them.
Bro, that was the biggest thing that just frustrated me during the game and after when I thought about it is, how do you keep coming up with these situations where you can't sub people on correctly, where you're not lining up correctly? We have a coach for every player.
It's true.
Like, I mean, it reminds me of college where you got the get back coach. And when that was like the first time somebody heard that, term used, It was like, what they got, and it's just like, they got so many people on the sideline. It begs the question, are we organized enough from the top down? And maybe it'll get better. Maybe Urban will be that guy and maybe he will begin to build something and the pieces will start to come together. It's just, I think it's also fair right now to be questioning that based off of what our eyes are, seeing and telling us.
And I think it's fair to question it, but I also think like you do have to understand it's one game with a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach. And for as many of those coaches as we have, that was their first game in the NFL too, actual game. So like you said, I mean, we see it, it looks stupid. We've been bitching about it for X amount of time. You should definitely be mad about like what you saw. That was like the biggest letdown in forever. I mean, that was worse than when like they were supposed to be good when Del Rio was around and they didn't make the playoffs. You know what I mean? That was just like so much hype, and then you're playing like the worst team on paper in the league. In quotes, they beat our ass. Like that can't happen. And
again, I go back to, bro, we're on the same wavelength, 1,000%. And I know, I guess maybe it's just unrealistic to expect this or to want this, but that's why I think Urban didn't do himself or anyone else any favors by the way he handled this week.
You're right.
He could have just come out and said, guys, wow, that was an adventure, huh? How about that ride in? Like on fucking, I mean, like he could have just been like, guess what? We got free peanuts on the airplane. Like crack a joke or something, my guy. Like fucking, because
act like you've lost a fucking game.
He's bringing some of this vitriol onto himself right now too, like with this negative energy that he's putting out. If he was out here and he was just like, look, I'm so damn happy to be in Jacksonville. I'm so happy to be working with these players. I'm so happy to freaking have this challenge. Yeah, they whooped our ass, and that's on me. I'm a rookie head coach. We got a rookie QB. I didn't get him, we didn't get him coached up enough. But guess what? We ain't going to stop until this shit gets better. That's what we're here to do, right? Plus,
we're talking about USC.
Own it. All this shit. That motherfucker didn't own it. Nothing about his press conference owned it. And that's what just bothered me. So because it makes
But
me
while
wonder.
While we're talking though about press conferences and owning it, you know who did? The fucking quarterback.
Yeah.
He came straight out and said, "Hey, I played like shit. I know I'm better than that. I'll get better than that, and we're gonna be better than that."
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And I believed him.
So
Yeah.
do I. Yeah, no reason not to.
Yeah. Again, I just hope we don't Matt Stafford him. That's all.
As long as we don't David Carr him, I guess it's gonna be okay.
I guess what you could say is that we really expected Urban Meyer to be A1, right?
Yep. Instead, he just left the door open.
It's been a really cold night ever since we hired him, because we haven't called A1 sliders to get our sliding glass door or window repaired, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you grew up like your dad was a house builder, right?
Right.
Why are these fucking doors so terrible, dude? This man
because-
has a whole business just fixing these fucking things.
That's because most builders put in builder grade doors.
Yeah.
And in reality, they're not built to last. They're not quality materials that are going to be, energy efficient, right? That are going to last a long time. That's why you got to call our boy Tony at A1 Sliders, have him come out, have his people come out. They'll do an estimate. They'll measure your shit up. They will treat you right, and they'll get you set up with a quality product. And that's the key, right? Like if you're replacing something in your home, do not replace it with the same grade
Cheap
of the builder
bullshit.
grade stuff. That's right.
So a1sliders.com is the website. Phone number 386-538-6835. They'll come do a free estimate for you. So they'll tell you what it's going to cost before they do anything. I mean, there's really no reason not to call. Fix your fucked up door.
They're
Yeah.
going for the thing too is like, I know we got a lot of listeners kind of all across the First Coast area and a little, and beyond, obviously. This is one of our sponsors too, that you can show some love to, some support. If you're anywhere basically from Volusia County up through, through the greater Jacksonville area, they'll come out and they'll get you set up. So
all you people that bought those junk houses in Nocatee and your shit's already fucking up,
shout out.
A1's got you.
A1.
Bears as efficient as the Jaguars offense. Call A1.
Boom.
386-538-6835. A1sliders.com. Call them.
Shout out Tony. Good seeing you out and the wifey out in the great state of Texas.
Yes. Great to meet y'all. So next up, we're going to give away. It's time to give away the $50 Perfect Rack gift card, right? 500
YouTube subscribers.
And then, whatever piece of swag Cap has laying around in his wherever he keeps the swag, the magic cauldron of swag that people imagine that you have, but really you don't.
I know we need to print up some more bold take gear, and that's now that it's a new season. Maybe we'll get some of that stuff put up on the website. So we'll get whoever wins set up with a little bit of a care package or something. Just gonna have to remind me.
So I'm just going through YouTube comments is really the only way I know how to pick out somebody. So I'm just picking a random person YouTube comment. I'm hoping that this person has a way to get to us. I mean, whether that be Twitter, whether that be, call me if you got my cell phone number. You can go ahead and hit me with a text, whatever. But the YouTube commenter, I'm just gonna pick a random video here. So just so you know, next time comments are really the only way I'm gonna be able to pick you out. So
got a comment on the last video too, because I know his lazy ass ain't scrolling.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm picking Ant Gill, whoever Ant Gill is. Find me on the Twitter machine. It's at
is that like AUNT, like your Aunt Gill, or is that ANT?
I mean, the picture, it's kind of hard to tell.
No. What's the picture of the spelling?
Oh, I thought you were asking me if it was somebody's aunt. So I was looking for like a picture.
No.
Well, you said aunt. I was like, what's the spelling of it?
It's ANT. It's ANT.
Okay. I was just be like, shout out. We got the aunties and the uncles out there listening to us. I love it.
Yeah.
But local Aunt Gill.
Yeah, hopefully you're local. If you're not local, then
you don't win. Let us know so we can give it to someone else.
You pick your favorite local Jacksonville person if you
Fair.
know.
There you go. There you go. Hey, wait, real quick before we get into the jag bag or reading the next ad.
Yeah.
Dilly, how is your aunt that we met a couple episodes ago up there on the lake house?
Aunt
She
Jackie.
good?
She's
Aunt
good.
Jackie?
The Vikings lost though, so she's like a 0-1.
She's pissed. She's pissed. So, all right. Well, tell Aunt Jackie next time you talk to her that we're going up to Cincinnati. We're gonna get that revenge on that ass.
Got you. I'll let her know.
Please use that exact terminology. She'll appreciate it.
She will. I'll text her in like 2 Wednesdays. the night before.
Okay, cool. Continue, Mr. Soliday.
So, nice little segue from our giveaway there. Our friends at Perfect Rack are giving out that $50 gift card,
Yeah.
and they are sponsoring the pod for the season or for the foreseeable future, I guess. So Perfect Rack is a billiard spot, a bar in Murray Hill, right on Edgewood. If you guys know where Fishweir Brewing is, they're right across the street from there. If you know where Maple Street is, it's like right across the street from there. But they're locally owned sports bar and grill. They got food. The wings are phenomenal. I think they have 50-cent wings Wednesdays or 60-cent wings Wednesdays, something like that. Voted best chicken wings in Jack's on Folio Weekly.
Yeah, let's be real. Let's be real here. Okay. Perfect Rack is the perfect fucking name. Okay. Doesn't get better when it comes to a name for a pool hall.
You can almost say they have an A1 name.
They've got a grade A1 name, 1000%, right? I mean, and these guys are no chumps over there at Perfect Rack. If they're getting transportation, they're getting it from Boz. Like they're going
Boom.
to the top shelf, these folks. But Perfect Rack, great name, tremendous location, right? Murray Hill, one of the coolest little areas in town to hang out in. Good food, good brews, good drinks, great atmosphere. There we go. Put the hand back in. Huge Jags fans.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big supporters of everything we do. So therefore we are big supporters of theirs.
Giving out free shots for every Jags touchdown on game days.
And they're giving out free booze. You legitimately can't beat that. First of all, thank you guys so much for the support.
100%.
Second, thank you for that gift card giveaway. Hopefully Sally's aunt, whatever her name was, will enjoy it. And no, but for real, like really, really awesome spot. They've been reaching out for a while now, trying to just get linked up and support each other, which is really what this is all about. Is teaming up with some cool people and trying to put them kind of on the map and help them succeed. So definitely Perfect Rack is the spot. Before we get into the jag bag, are we going jag bag?
Yep. And we're
Jag bag.
also going to
Well,
have a bold take appearance at Perfect Rack probably this year, right? One of the
We're
away games.
gunning for it. I'm sitting here looking at the schedule and I'm like, I don't know when the hell I'm going to do that. But
It's going to be a while, but yeah.
maybe you guys can go on Thursday night while I'm in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can FaceTime. No, I just wanted to shout out one other establishment, and they're not an official sponsor of the pod or anything, but it's a local spot, another local spot, right? Which is what we're all about. Jack's Craft Beer. It's craft and bottle shop. It's over in Mandarin. They are providing free beer for members at the home opener tailgate this Sunday. So it's a smaller shop, right? Like everybody in town, Intuition, Wicked, like those are places that have that kind of brand recognition that like, especially a lot of years, like our people, like our members and stuff know them. This is a new partner. And I just wanted to give them kind of a little bit of a shout out. Like, it's awesome. Like they reached out, said, hey, if you don't partner with some breweries or if you have any opportunities for us to get out there, they come to the tailgates anyway. He's like, my wife and I come to the tailgates. Like, we'd love to come out and just bring
That's
some
awesome.
beer and set up and, kind of represent. So shout out to them for that.
That's awesome.
That is tight.
It's always good when it's like your people.
I was gonna say, I think that's the coolest part about all of our sponsors. Like, they're all people we fuck with, and that's like the coolest thing that you can really ask for.
I mean, it's
like yeah, Manscaped and all that stupid shit has hit us up, and like we don't got time for that. Like,
yeah,
you got to be a real one to get on the real one. So
yeah, because I don't know if you guys knew this. Like, we're not doing this for a job. And we're also not doing it for the money.
It's a passion
So,
project, friends.
We're just hoping to buy Dilla a new microphone. Like if we can just generate enough revenue to get Dilly a new microphone every season, because it seems like that's what he needs.
Too bad. It was good last week. Damn it.
He's got the Price is Right microphone. You see that shit?
It's the microphone from the Starship Enterprise.
Price is right. And then when I want to go meat ski, I'm like,
He's like $1, Bob.
Bro, that ain't a damn microphone. That's
It looks like the shit at Burger King back in the day.
that's
yeah, it does.
I have a number 4.
Hey, to swing it back around because I teased it earlier, it sounds like there's going to be more rotation at that safety spot this week.
nice.
Sounds like there's gonna be what?
More rotation at the safety spot.
We need less rotation and just
Yeah,
less,
more rotation,
less
more
doing.
switching it out.
Hey, so while I agree, I'm gonna fucking take it because it's better than what it was. So if it's not, next week where he's starting maybe more, then I'll be pissed. But for now, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'd like to know what the hesitancy is with Cisco. Is it just protecting him because of injury, or are they just not sure if he's ready from a mental standpoint?
I saw somewhere that there was some sort of pitch count. I don't know where I saw that.
I don't know if it's for fact or not, but just through the grapevine, I've heard it's more of like a protection thing. They're just trying to get him back to being comfortable. Just not thinking about it, just going out there and playing football.
It's gotta be that because they're willingly playing Dewey Wingard in front of him, dude.
Yeah, I know.
It's gotta be the injury, not because you have.
We've wasted enough time talking about that bum. Let's talk about the jag bag.
All right.
Jag bag.
Jag bag.
Please, BCB Couch. Please rank these events in chronological order of happening in the future. 1, the Jaguars being a successful franchise. 2, defeating COVID. 3, the shipyards being completed. 4, Dilla has a kid.
That's pretty good. I guess I'll go first then. So we'll do the shipyards, the Jaguars being good, and then COVID will never be defeated, but I'll die eventually. So it's kind of like a push for third.
And kid is 4th, obviously.
No, the me dying and COVID go together. Not from COVID, just from never having a kid and dying and it no longer being possible.
So are we going most likely to least likely?
In order of when they happen.
So you're saying shipyards first,
Yeah.
Jaguars being successful second,
Yeah.
defeating COVID third. No, defeating COVID is 4th. Kid is 3rd.
But really they're the same because
They're the same. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, neither
of them ever happens.
Exactly.
COVID will be defeated. COVID will be defeated before you have a kid because you will never have a kid. One day the virus will go away, like in millions and millions of years when the planet
Right.
blows up.
Right.
Interesting.
Okay.
That got really deep really quickly. I wasn't expecting that. I have
Need
many
answers.
questions.
I need
now.
answers.
Yeah. All right. I'll go. Shipyards will get done before the Jaguars are good. I will go. Dilla has a kid before the Jaguars are good. And I will go.
Easiest money on fucking
COVID will
earth.
be defeated before the Jaguars are good.
So
So
really,
Jaguars will be
Cap is
good
complete-
4th.
Cap's completely out on Trevor Lawrence.
No, it has nothing to do with Trevor Lawrence. I think he's fantastic, and I love him like my own long-haired son. But yeah, no,
I'm going Dilla has a kid, 1.
Jesus Christ.
Shipyards being completed, 2. Defeating COVID, 3. The Jaguars being a successful franchise, 4.
I'm not bringing a kid into the world where the Jaguars aren't good. People are worried about climate change and COVID and school shootings, and I'm worried about the Jaguars being good.
Oh my goodness.
Next
Oh my
up.
goodness. Next question.
Next question. At JM Begay, Mayo extraordinaire. I have just gotten into Satanism and I require a blood sacrifice to right all of the Jaguars' wrongs over the last 27 seasons. Which Jaguar personnel over the course of history would you personally take out, and why is it Andrew Wingard? Hashtag Jagback.
Yeah, I agree. Facts.
No, I'm going.
Hugh Douglas.
I was gonna go Hugh, but like that blood might be tainted. So
It has to be a player, right?
Yeah.
has to be a player.
I mean, I guess my real answer would be Nick Foles because that's the only thing that could, so much power of Christ and then Satanism. And then that's more of a trench warfare than you'll ever see the Jaguars.
If you're going that way, you know who played for the Jags this preseason?
No, he didn't. He registered 0.
Never happened. Never happened.
For him. Shout out.
I like the Nick Foles answer. That's good.
Nick Foles.
Let's go Nick Foles. And if we were really good at editing, like maybe one day we will be, where we can like edit in videos into this, I would edit in that one where he's like,
it doesn't just happen.
Doesn't just happen.
I'm gonna pick a different one. I think that's the best answer, but I'm gonna pick a different one. I'm gonna
pick Ramsey.
Just to be crazy. I'm just gonna pick Matt Turk.
Nice. Yeah, I got
that's solid. That's solid.
I remember when he shanked that fucking punt. This is before we knew each other. Shanked that punt, and he was like, "Get loud, crowd!" When everybody booed him.
Yeah, I booed him so loud.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
At Evil Zorak, will they be offering roofies at the newly sponsored roofclaim.com spas? Hashtag check that.
You got nothing to do with that. Next.
But hey, while y'all are throwing around that roof claim money, y'all want to sponsor a podcast, let us know.
Roofclaim.com kind of sounds like more our speed than like the Jacksonville Jaguars of the NFL, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Someone tweeted at them or Facebooked them and like sent me a screenshot, and it said something like, "You would have got more money's worth out of sponsoring the Bull Take Pod."
Hey, well, if everybody's listening out there, go out there and you haven't tweeted that to that company yet, feel free to do so. Please do.
At Pint of Jack, what share of blame does Solly have in the loss for calling it preseason game 4? I'd say 80%.
Dude, he's been busting your balls about that for like 2 weeks.
Man, the confidence level overall was high, my bros. Like
here's my rebuttal though. We lost our first two preseason games in embarrassing fashion. It was a preseason game. That's exactly how we performed for the preseason when we actually played anybody worth a shit.
Listen,
it was a preseason game.
I did not go into that game thinking that we were definitely going to win.
I did.
I know you did. And so did you.
Yeah, I did.
I know. And so did everyone around me in that stadium. So did everyone around me on Saturday night. Yeah, everyone expected we were going to win. And I've been through this shit too often. And I will just, what I'm going to do is I'm going to refer folks to Alfie Crow and his pinned tweet on Twitter. The Jaguars are bad until they are not.
That shit has been up for a long time and it's still fucking, they're still bad.
I'll double down. They're going to win this week too. They're going to win this week.
I'll say for me, the psychological issue was like the whole complete refresh just made you like so excited that you just got overconfident. You know what I mean?
They do, man. Listen,
you weren't thinking about like
the Khan family now is in wrestling, right? The wrestling is about getting people all gassed up. You got your heels, you got your faces. Like it's about playing with people's emotions, and that's what they're good at. That is their business. Bumpers and playing with people's emotions.
All right, our weekly check-in from Hungary at Ik Triad. Is that how you say it? I don't know if that's
sounds good. Yeah.
Who had better first days on the job? Urban Meyer as Jags head coach in the regular season or the captain of the Titanic? Hashtag JagHead. I don't think we need to answer that question. It's one of those, it's a great question that gets read.
Thanks.
Who we got next? We have at JM Day. 2-parter. Number 1, why is Houston like that? And number 2, why would Gary Criswell go to the stadium 3 hours early if he wasn't even going to play catch with Leonard Fournette? Hashtag Jack.
Gary did. Shout out to Gary, man. It's good to see Gary. I ain't seen him in a minute. Gary definitely.
Did Gary not even go to the bar gate? I swear I
No,
talked
he
to him
was
at the
there.
bar
No,
gate.
he was. Yeah, he was. I love seeing Gary out on trips. He's an OG tripper.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Shout out to Gary for rooming with us in Nashville one year. Remember that?
Well, and
Remember you guys sharing a bed and him ripping us.
He was ripping us like crazy.
another bro who, you know, I don't think knew anybody prior to coming on a couple of those trips, right? And just so now that's you know, that's what tends to happen. But yeah, no, Gary's I think he's a big get in there early, check shit out kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But that is hilarious.
Next up we got
Shout
at
out
I am E to the T. He simply says, we're gonna start out the season 0-4.
Like ET from the 1010 XL producer ET.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Shout out to ET.
Yes.
Are we gonna start out 0-4?
Yeah.
It's quite honestly not possible if we're winning this week. So no.
What'd you just say that again? Can you repeat that? Because you kind of said you said it's quite possible. It's not possible because we're gonna win.
I said quite honestly that's not possible because we're gonna win this weekend.
Okay. I misunderstood. Sorry.
I'm going to go the other route. I think it's entirely possible that we start 0-4.
Agree.
If you win week 2, how can you be 0-4?
Look, show me,
That's bad,
bro. Bro, pretend like I'm from.
I'm gonna refer you back to Alfie's pin tweet again 2 minutes later.
1-3 is not good. Relax.
I'm Missouri. Okay, I'm the show me state. Like, show me, bro. Or misery.
Next up is at JNoog89. How was the barbecue, Dilla? Hashtag jagbag.
10 out of 10. Hey man, I was pumped that we saw him one more time. Shout out to him. He literally flew in, got into Houston at like 10 a.m. and flew out at 6 p.m. Just caught the game.
No, so he flew out.
He had the worst trip of anybody.
He left Minneapolis. No, this crazy fucker left Minneapolis at like 5 a.m. local time.
Wild.
Landed at like 8 something, came straight from the airport to the bar gate. Was one of like 3 walk-ups total that I let in, and the only one that I didn't let make wait. And the funny thing was I was super busy. It was a couple of days before the trip, and that asshole was messaging me, and he's like, yo, Cap, this is my itinerary. And I'm like, yo, you're crazy. Like, what the hell are you even doing? He's like, I just bought game tickets. You know, it's like last minute. If I show up this bar gate shit, you ain't going to kick me out, are you? And I never even answered him, kind of half on purpose, kind of half not. And then he shows up and he just kind of gives me that look, gives me a hug. And he's like, dude, what do I got to do? And I'm like, motherfucker, just give us the money. Like, come in here. Like, you can have my damn bar gate for like somebody as crazy as you. But so then yes, so you're right. Is like, he went to the game and then he was flying out at like 6 o'clock to go back. He was working Monday. That's what he told me. He said the reason he had to do it is because he got to work Monday. And here's the crazy thing, boys. He's not the only motherfucker that texted me some shit like that. Yeah. There were people who legit were like, I can't miss Trevor's first game. Like, think about that, man. When people talk about how we don't have fucking fans and, you know, this, that, and the other, I mean, people who are taking their hard-earned money, who didn't even have any vacation time or whatever, couldn't miss work, couldn't miss school, we're getting on a plane, same day, flying somewhere, spending all that money to go to that game. And Noog wasn't even the only one that I had messaging me about that shit. A lot of people were doing it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of real ass fans, man. Joe, and you know, speaking of Missouri, he was in Texas and he's gonna be
Joe's an alpha
this week.
Yeah.
He's a real one, always has been. That guy's always everywhere. I love that dude.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's good people for sure, man. Yeah, season ticket holder and shit from Missouri.
Yeah,
right. Crazy.
People are psychos about their team.
Well, and that's the thing, man. And I think that's why I get so passionate when people start talking shit about us as a fan base, this, that, the other. It's like the amount, like, it's one thing for somebody like me not to give up on this team.
Yeah.
Because I got so much time, energy, money invested in it. It's a whole nother damn thing for somebody who lives in Missouri to still have season tickets and be traveling to away games and home games and shit. Like that shit's crazy, man.
Yeah, that doesn't make no sense. That dude's crazy, but I love him. He's a shot. I guess we shared a shot on Saturday night. I don't really remember. Kind of remember a little bit.
What'd you do, bro?
He's back.
You're muted, Sally.
Muted. Ding ding.
You call me a ding ding. The computer did it, bro.
Fucking Riverside internet.
Hope that didn't fuck anything up.
I doubt it. It kept recording all the way until right before you came back.
Yeah, but I'm the one that's recording.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It recorded and then stopped.
We should just do it like this. This is money. We should do every jag bag like this. I actually like this way better. This is like we're sitting next to each other. This is
Yeah, I
fantastic.
kind of like this too.
Do we need to just leave it like this?
Yeah, scoot closer to Cat.
If
Put my arm around
if this recording actually gets uploaded to YouTube, leave a comment and tell us if you prefer this or the other view.
This will be the outtakes. Yeah, this is like we're sitting like on a jury together. This is fantastic.
Yeah, man. I had 2 more fucking jag bag questions.
We can't end it like that. Can you edit it or no? We didn't even
Mhm.
say love you, JB.
I mean,
If it
I
takes
hope-
too long, it's okay. I don't want you to have to like. I feel you. I wouldn't want to stay up extra to make another video fit.
wait, what?
I'm saying like if it's a pain in the ass to do, I feel you. No worries.
We're probably recording right now. Like,
Yeah, we are. It says we are.
I just don't know if it all like went together. You know?
I feel you.
This is fantastic.
Should we just continue like it's still going?
Might as well.
All right.
Welcome to the bold take.
This might be the only thing that gets uploaded. The whole rest of it might be gone. Who knows?
The Urban Meyer episode.
Last couple questions was at JFix88. What happens first? The Jaguars win a game, or Dillard and Kendra Middleton go on their first official date? Hashtag Jagbag.
Interesting.
She lives in like Boston or something.
Yeah.
Jags are
It's in
winning.
Boston.
Jags are winning on Sunday, so there's your answer.
Well, big answers. I mean, how do you go against the man himself?
Oh, I only read that question so that I could also read this question from Cole Fartley.
Boy.
Bro, she came out of nowhere. Is it possible she's a double agent employed by Shad Khan to uncover Dilla's source? She seems to be playing the long game.
If so, we didn't talk about that at all.
Yeah.
She's a bad double agent if that's the case.
Unless she's playing the real long game.
Yeah, for real. Maybe like she's waiting for when the Jaguars make the playoffs and play New England again.
You can't play the long game for one weekend, dude. Long game.
Well, you haven't met Dilla. That's some long game right there, if you ask me. I think that's what Cole meant. No. Yeah. So that was funny because we thought Kendra, like initially, we thought like that was a total catfish situation. I remember Dilla was like, yeah, she was asking me about if I was going to be at the Bold City Brigade tailgate. And I'm like, tailgate? We're having a tailgate? And I was like, dude, she's catfishing you. She's catfishing you. Then she eventually showed up, was it Saturday or whatever? And we all met her.
Yeah.
So shout out to Kendra. It's good to meet you. Think you probably had your fill of the BCB crew for a little while. But yeah, I don't know. Listen, like this things have to naturally happen. So we'll just we'll kind of see. We'll see if that love blows. Not blows. That wasn't what I was going for. Blossoms and grows. Blossoms and grows. But I just kind of combined them there. That wasn't really what I was going for. But yeah, well, nonetheless, any of those things. Next question, Sally. Anything else?
That was it, man.
That was it. Okay, great way to end it. I had one other thing. What the hell was it? Yeah, home opener tailgate. What's that?
I jokingly said score predictions.
Yes.
38-12 Broncos.
33.
You think Lambeau's gonna hit 4 field goals? Yeah, right.
2 touchdowns with 2 missed extra points.
That is I'm down. I can see that.
I'm going 27-17 Broncos.
And I'm going 29-15 Jaguars.
But remember, it's all about the friends.
Origami.
It's all about the friends we made along the way and the franchise quarterbacks we get to watch throw frozen ropes around the field, whether the team sucks or not. Remember,
At home.
boys?
I looked at the seating chart. It'll be thick. I'm kind of pumped. I already seen Broncos fans at work, and it's fucking Thursday. So heads up.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
They come out of nowhere, bro. They come out of nowhere. Well, in fairness, we rolled pretty deep in Denver a couple years ago.
They were
too.
shocked. I told someone the people of Houston, like especially at the baseball game, they were dope. I enjoyed a lot of the
Yeah, they
people.
were cool.
They were. Yeah, no, I overall I thought folks were super hospitable, even at the game to a degree, until I was just on the concourse minding my own damn business up there. And this guy comes up, there's like 2 or 3 of us standing there, and he walks up and he like taps me on the shoulder. He's like, dude, it'll be all right. And I'm like, cool, thanks, bro. And like I turn around and look at my little 27-inch TV that I'm now watching my franchise QB play on. And he kind of taps me on the shoulder again. He goes, yeah, man. He's like, look, Trevor Lawrence is overrated. But it'll be all right. And I just ignored him. And he said,
Short little fat guy in a red jersey.
no, he turns around. He kind of kept talking. So finally I turned around and looked at him and I said, bro, listen, you walked over here and I really don't want to like have this moment with you. But since you seem to insist on having this moment, I have nothing to say to a grown ass man who's wearing a giant Texas emblem around his neck with faux white chain attached to it. Like I got nothing to say to you, bro. Like you're wearing that around your neck. You have nothing else to say to me. I have nothing else to say to you. Just walk the fuck away. And this dude's face just went like this. He's like, bro, you have to take it so serious, man. You have to take it so serious. Like you're getting all mad. Like, what the hell, bro? And like he legit went from like kind of confused to pissed off. And he keeps running his mouth. And I'm like, okay, all right, whatever you say, Texans guy, like just fucking walk away. and he's then I see him. He's like standing over there, like for 20 minutes, like looking at me. And then his buddies come over and he's like pointing at me. And I'm just like, sorry, buddy. Like you came over here. And that's one of the reasons why I left. Because I saw another Tennessee happen. And I was just like, I can't do this.
I can't keep rocking people in their own stadiums.
I'm too old for that shit, man. And but it's just like, it got to the point to where I was trying to be nice and I was trying to ignore the dude. Yeah. And then I didn't, it's not like I challenged him or tried to fight him or anything. I just hit him back and I'm way quicker and more witty than he is. Yeah. And so he got all offended and shit. And it's like, okay, go be in your feelings over there. All right. Your fucking team is whooping my team's ass. Congratulations. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So anyway, story time with Cap there at the end of the episode.
Always welcome.
Always welcome. All right, boys. Well,
see you Sunday.
See you Sunday. Go Jaguars. Let's go, JJs. Let's go.
Let's go.
Love you, JB.
Love you, JB.
Oh boy.